Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Monday, March 10th, 2025. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. The Public Works Department is proposing to undertake major road rehabilitation works in 2025. Minister of Works, the Honorable Spencer Brand, says the Public Works Department is doing its best to execute the various road enhancement and development projects within its capacity.
We have done some preliminary design for the Taylor's Pasture project, and we are hoping that we will have the final design and see that work commence during the course of the first half of 2025. Madam President, we also have signaled to the good people of Rollins that we will see the execution of that project. I am happy also to report that the surveyor would have already taken all of the field data, and we are working assiduously to complete the design, Madam President, of that project. In Jessops, Madam President, we have been looking at a project in the Jessops area, just above the Jessops Community Center, that ring road. We have the costing, we have completed the design of the retaining wall that we must do around the community center area there in Jessops. And we are hoping that we will see the execution of that project very shortly.
During the March 6th sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly, Minister Brand noted that there has been a lot of requests for roads.
The long-awaited Morgan Estate Brown Pasture Area Road, we have had some delays on that project due to some challenges as it relates to our financial projections for 2025. But Madam President, we are hoping that we will see the execution of this project or the commencement of this project very shortly, Madam President. All of the preliminary works and designs have been completed, and we are hoping to see the execution of that project very shortly. We also are looking at the church ground project, Madam President, where we are hoping to see some work in that area. Madam President, in Newcastle, we have a situation in Newcastle where oftentimes we see some flooding in the area above the newly constructed police station. And we are in the process, Madam President, of getting some costing to reconstruct the culvert in that area, Madam President. And once that is done, we will be able to lift the road in that area where motorists can pass in that area in a much more safer way, Madam President. In the Ramsbury area, Madam President, we are looking at some drainage issues in the Ramsbury area, and we are hoping that we can also execute those works during the first half of this year.
Minister of Works, the Honorable Spencer Brand. The Nevis Culturama Committee has increased the age limit for Miss Culture Queen contestants. That is according to Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, who says registration remains open for the Culturama Senior Pageant.
We do, thankfully, have a full slate of contestants for Mr. Cool and the Miss Culture Swimwear. However, we are still looking for 2 contestants for Miss Culture, for the Miss Culture Queen pageant. I must also indicate here as well that we have, in line with other Caribbean countries and worldwide, increased the age limit for Miss Culture Queen contestants. And so the age is now 18 to 28. And so young ladies, talented, beautiful, educated young ladies who are listening and viewing, we are asking you to please apply to be one of the contestants for Miss Culture.
Minister Evelyn says that the Culturama Committee has been meeting and plans for the festival are progressing well.
I must indicate here that registration is open for all Culturama 51 events. For the Art and Craft Food Fair, it is open and will close on June the 16th. For the Soca Monarch, it is open and it will close on Friday, May the 2nd. For the Senior Calypso competition, the deadline is April the 30th. For the Junior Calypso, the deadline is Friday, June the 13th. For the Senior Parade, the deadline is June the 13th. And all applications, of course, should be sent to the Culturama Secretariat. And so I would just want to end by inviting persons here on the island of Nevis to continue to support Culturama. Last year we had a huge festival, and I think it was in part because of the call that was made here and elsewhere. And so I'm making this call once again, especially to those in the diaspora. We are looking forward to you to come home in your numbers, as you did in 2024, to support the Caribbean's greatest summer lime.
The slogan for Culturama 51 is Nivision Pride, second to none, Culturama 51. The winning entry was penned by Onisha Hunt of Hamilton Estate. Still to come.
It is good to see Anguilla having their first female leader, and she, of course, will have made history in that regard.
We'll give you the details after this break.
I'm Wakely Daniel, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Premier. As Permanent Secretary, I wish to salute the vision of our fourth national hero, the Right Honorable Dr. Simeon Daniel. It was his foresight that led to the establishment of the Nevis International Financial Services Industry, an industry that has contributed tremendously to the overall socio-economic development of the people and island of Nevis. Today, I recognize the contribution of this giant of a man as the administration commemorates the resilience and fortitude of the Nevis International Financial Services Industry. Best wishes and congratulations.
Welcome back. During a recent sitting, members of the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis congratulated the new Premier of Anguilla, Cora Richardson Hodge, following her party's victory at the polls on February 26th.
Rise, Madam Speaker, to take this opportunity to congratulate the new Premier-elect of Anguilla and her team, and to really also say to the outgoing Premier, Premier Webster, who I had the opportunity to work with, that in our meetings and deliberations, he always put his nation first. And so I want to really also recognize the service, not just to Anguilla, but to the region. He was the immediate past chair of the Currency Council. That was held just maybe a week ago or so, where he did an excellent job chairing. And so I want to congratulate him as well for his time of service and to wish the new government success.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, and the Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, both made congratulatory remarks.
I would want to congratulate Mrs. Cora Richardson Hodge, who has now emerged as the Premier, and that she and her party, I'm told, would have won 8 of the 11 seats on offer. And so I extend congratulations to her and her team, and to say that it is good to see Anguilla having their first female leader. And she, of course, would have made history in that regard.
The Anguilla United Front, led by Cora Richardson Hodge, won 4 of the 7 district seats and all 4 of the island-wide contests. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis invites graduates of the Clarence Fitzroy Brand College, CFBC, and the Nevis Sixth Form College to apply for University of the Virgin Islands UVI scholarships. Persons who may have graduated years ago are welcome to apply. Scholarships are only available to graduates who are interested in undertaking studies at UVI for a maximum of 4 years. The following documents are required to be delivered to the Ministry of Human Resources by March 21st, 2025. 1 original and 1 copy of your completed application form, 1 original and 1 certified copy of your birth certificate, originals and certified copies of your high school and college certificates of qualification, as well as 1 original and 1 certified copy of the university acceptance letter. Application forms can be collected from from the Ministry of Human Resources on the second floor of the Social Security Building at Pinnis Estate. If you have any other concerns or questions about the scholarship application process, contact the Ministry of Human Resources at 469-5521, extension 5163, 5164, or 5166. That's it for this edition of the Navy's Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing. I'm Donna Wilkinson Keynes.